What's up, YouTube? Robbie coming to you guys here with another standard deck list. I know I put out the Dark World deck, and this is another really cool one. I started working on it about a week ago maybe now. Then I saw a list that like topped some locals in South America or Mexico last week as well, and I was like, that's pretty cool. Let me like bounce ideas off of it. And as you guys can see in the thumbnail, this is the Dogmatika Ritual deck profile. So we're into the deck. Our first and foremost monster is Ecclesia, who can search for any Dogmatika card. So she is MVP of this deck for sure. She searches basically the whole deck. She's nuts. Then we have one Fleur. I was testing a more aggro build that played 3 of him. That way you can just like summon him a lot and have him a lot. But she searching for him just makes it kind of less needed. And then you have one Maximus. He does have a lot of utility, and now that Kit Kalos is not in the game anymore, you don't need to really worry about sending your opponent's stuff to the graveyard as much. Yeah, that being said, 5 Dogmatika effect monsters. We have 2 Albazoa, the 12-star, 2 of the 8-star White Knight of Dogmatika, and 1 White Relic of Dogmatika. So we should know what these ones do for now. But if you guys don't know what these 3 do, I'll pull one of each out real quick. We'll start with the little one. Little one, she states that she can only be summoned by the Dogmatika Cabra. When she's ritual summoned, you can target 2 face-up monsters on the field. 1 gains the attack of the other. And then level 8 or higher Dogmatika monsters you control can't be destroyed by battle. So these 2 or these 2. And if a monster or monsters is special summoned from your opponent's extra deck, you can look at their extra deck and send a card to the graveyard. So she's okay as a one of, because you don't really care about doing that as much, but she's just good to have just in case. This guy, when he's on the field, you can't special summon from the extra deck. If your opponent activates a card or effect, except during the damage step, you can send 1 monster from your extra deck to the grave, look at your opponent's extra deck, and then send 1 more as well. And then he gains the combined attack of all of them until the end of the turn. So he can get really big, and it gives you just knowledge of what your opponent's playing. Being locked out of the extra deck with him kind of sucks, but that's okay, because you don't really need the extra deck with this deck anyway. Then the big bad, the boss, the crazy card, one of the 2 new cards from the set. All Dogmatika monsters you control are unaffected by the effects, the activated effects. So if a goose goes on the field, it does hurt these guys. Of your opponent's fusion, synchros, exceed, or link monsters. Then, during your opponent's main phase, or during your main phase, you can pick one of the following 2 effects, and your opponent must do and choose one of those 2 things. So you can either make it that you can return all fusion, synchro, exceed, and link monsters they control. So like, it says you control, but it means them. Bounce it back to their extra deck. Or you can, if your opponent has, let's say your opening turn is you summon this card, and your opponent doesn't have those cards on the field for them to even apply, then the other effect can be, for every 2 cards in your extra deck, they have to send a card from their hand to the graveyard. Turn 1, going blind, I wouldn't do that whatsoever. But that being said, it's a 4K like towers. So card's kind of nuts, honestly. Rest of the monsters, we have 2 Diviner of the Herald. I thought about a 3rd, but this deck's already 41 cards, and I wanted to keep it at 40 or 41 just for consistency's sake. It pretty much turns on your whole extra deck with Herald, and then you can make Barone with this card, because you can special the 4-star girl and make Barone just pretty easily. Or other ways with like this, and just it's a good starter. Turns on Maximus, and just, yeah. Then lastly, just 3 Fenrir. This card's nuts. That's all I have to say. And spells, there's hefty chunk of them, honestly. I'm not gonna lie, it is 22 cards. First is we have a 3 Servant, search Ecclesia, search the little guys, search the card's nuts. We have 3 of the new spells. What this does is when it's activated, you can search for a Dogmatika ritual, monster, or ritual spell, not both. Then if your opponent controls a monster, you can add any Dogmatika card. Then once per turn, if you control a Dogmatika ritual monster, you can look at either player's extra deck and send 1 card from the extra deck to the grave. So again, more knowledge. That's just kind of nuts. Yeah. Then we have both the ritual spells. This one is you can banish fusion or synchro monsters from your grave or tribute monsters you control to summon the guys from your hand. And this one you can send a fusion or synchro from your extra deck to the grave. So really, it's like reminiscent of Necros here with these 2 ritual spells. Honestly, they're really good cards, and you could do 3-in-1 of one of them, but I just wanted a little bit of like diversity to have both the options come up, considering I've changed my ratios compared to the other guys' list. And then we have 2 pre-prep, considering all the guys you can get all the cards with this card and the ritual deck, etc., etc. Card's nuts. Then we have 1 Thrust because it can get Nadir Servant, and it can also get 2 other cards in the deck. So 1's just fine. Yeah. It can get one of the other cards you can get is Pot of Prosperity for consistency. You kind of want to hit Ecclesia, or you want to hit Nadir Servant or the Matrix. It's just a pretty good card. But the extra deck is really, really, really important, considering you need to send cards to the graveyard in order to get both of these cards off. You can't really afford to lose more than three cards, like, ever. Called by just for protection. So Ash is starting to come back in the format. And we have 3 Ultimate Slayer, another card you can get off the Rust. Dumps cards to the extra deck, to the grave, which helps trigger the other cards. And then it's just an out to a lot of cards. Yeah, card's pretty strong. Then we have 3 Book of Moon. I wanted a defensive spell card that's just really good in general, and Book of Moon's that card. So, yeah. Trap cards are 4. We have 1 Punishment. I didn't want any more because I didn't want to like double draw 2 of them. I don't even want to Ecclesia searches half the time anyway, so it's just kind of like a good card to have as like 1 copy. Then 3 Imperm. These could be 3 Ash if you want it to be, but I just like Imperm a little more for now, just because it doesn't trigger Thrust. But like other than that, yeah. That's the main deck. 41 cards, guys. The extra deck now was kind of really hard to condense down, I'm not gonna lie, because you need so many fusions and synchro monsters, and like it's 11 fusion and synchro, or fusion and or synchro, so you only have like 4 semi-flex spots / ultimate slayer targets / yeah. So you have Garura, draw a card. Its stat line's perfect for Servant to search Ecclesia. 1 Titanclad, it can do pretty much anything for the deck. 1 5-headed because it's a 12-star that you can send for the big guy. 1, yeah, this card. The Dragon Spellcaster thing. 2 Intis, 1 Omega, and 2 Herald of the Arclight. Omega is really nice because you can dump the 8-star guy and recycle any card. Yeah. Then for like the flex spot, that's not the purple or white cards, we have a Zeus, just because you can dump it for the links. You have 1 Almirage, so you can turn your Herald into something else. Otherwise, there's another flex spot. I forgot to grab it out. So yeah, it's one of the 2 plays you can do with Diviner, just to either set up more Ecclesia plays or whatnot. We have 1 Lingaribo in case you get Iblied game 1. Otherwise, it's a pot target. You have Barone, which you can make. Diviner, dump Herald, some of the 4-star ritual makes Barone. And then one of the new cards is Dynamondo. He takes 1 ritual monster plus another effect monster. When it's summoned, you can target one card on the field and one ritual monster in your graveyard. Bounce them both back. Then he contribute this card and special or target a ritual monster in your grave. Either special summon it or add it to your hand. So kind of does a lot for this deck exactly. It's kind of weird. It's like a really weird card. The other list I saw was playing the Tri-Brigade Link 5 just for, I guess, a target for Ultimate Slayer. But that being said, you probably could change this guy for it. He's kind of like the 15th card that I think is just cool. So I'll just fan out the extra deck for you guys again real quick to see everything. 3 links, 4 synchros, 7, 8, 9, 10. I am now missing one again. What the heck? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. What the heck? Sorry, guys. I bet the other one's really apparent, and I'm just really tired. Oh, it is the Tri-Brigade Link 5. Ha! Okay, so I guess that's the Ultimate Slayer target. And I guess with punishment, he is just big, big, big. My bad. There we go. All right, guys. I hope you guys enjoy this video. This deck's really cool. It's not super competitive in comparison to like the other decks, but just keep it on your radar. It's just like having a big towers guy is insane. So yeah, later, guys.